Welcome to my 5-month hair loss regimen update using Finasteride, Minoxidil and Derma Rolling, which has gotten me from looking like this to this in only 5 months. I just have 2 words for you. It works. So I figured we would go through the months and check how the progress has been going for the past 5 months. Let's get into it. If I look back from month 0 to month 5, I believe that I've already made a lot of progress. If we look back to the original photos at month 0, we can see that my hair was very diffused. Up in the crown there were a lot of vellus hairs, which means that there were only a few permanent hairs. As you can see, they're a little bit longer, they get a little bit more nutrients and blood flow to the hair shaft, which means they grow to be stronger and thicker, as opposed to the thinner ones, which is the majority, at least in the crown area, which are diffusing, miniaturizing, getting less and less blood flow unless I take medical intervention, which I did. But this is at month 0, so this is me without any medication. And that is the state of my hair. But as you can see, I still had the hair follicles left, which means that each hair has the possibility to regrow to its original state, which is what we decided to do when going on medication. And if we look at month 1, there was shedding going on for sure. My hair was a little bit longer, but you can really see that the Finasteride and the Minoxidil impacted my hair positively, I would say, because shedding usually means that the medication is working. So if you experience a lot of shedding, that just means the medication is working on your hair. So positively, I experienced a lot of shedding at this time. This is also why I recommend people to get a buzz cut before they begin taking medication, because that way it's easy to track the progress, but also you won't be as affected by the shedding phase, because the contrast between the hair that is shedding and the hair that is not affected by any medication will not be as visible, which means you won't be self-conscious with the shedding. And the shedding can last anywhere from 2 to 6 months, so you want to make sure you're mentally prepared going into this, that you may experience a long shedding phase. Luckily for me, my shedding only lasted about a month and a half, 2 months. So if we spin forward to month 2, we can see that I was already gaining back a lot of hair compared to the 1-month mark. And hair was going super well. There were still a lot of miniaturizing hairs, but you can see that the medication was actually regrowing a lot of hair. If we move forward to month 3, we can actually see that I made a lot of progress. Sure, I'd grown my hair out a little bit, but that was only because the shedding phase had stopped. I grew it out a centimeter or so, and at this point, at the 3-month mark, you can't tell that I've been losing my hair, which is amazing. So not only has the blood flow increased, causing my hair shafts to become thicker and more dense, but the Finasteride has also helped with the miniaturization of the hair shafts, allowing more hairs to be affected by the Minoxidil to grow thicker. Again, I had slight problems with the crown still, because for me personally, the crown is what's most affected by my male pattern baldness, which means that sure, the temples are affected too, but the area that I'm self-conscious about is my crown. But when I grew it out to this length, it's not at all visible. And if I were to ask someone to look at that photo and ask whether or not I'm balding, I bet you the majority of people would say that I'm not balding, which is awesome. Moving forward to the 4-month mark, so in January, this is what my hair looked like. Honestly, just by giving that extra little bit of length, my hair was completely covered. When my hair was wet, like when I applied Minoxidil, the crown was still exposed. And this annoys me a little bit, but then again, I need to have realistic expectations at the 4-month mark. So I still know that the medication hasn't given me its full potential yet. And hopefully within the months, that's gonna grow in and I'll get more coverage in my crown. The temples looked good as well. I got a lot more hair around those areas. Also the hairline on the sides here came in, as you can compare to this little mark that I got, which is amazing. So the medication is just doing wonders, and there is such thing as a hyper responder to the medication. And although I don't think I'm a hyper responder, I do respond very well to the medication. So I'm one of those guys that get a lot of positive effect early in my hair loss journey, whereas for some people it may take 6, 9, 12 months until you see good results. So it's completely dependent on you, so you shouldn't actually compare yourself to other people. When doing this, I'm just sharing my story, but just know that. What's interesting though, is that after about 1.5 years, you're not gonna see a lot more progress, which means that everyone will see the medication's full potential at least the 1.5 year mark. So if you really wanna see what the medication can do for you, you should wait that long to see how good progress you can make, even though you don't respond super well at the beginning. And now let's move on to the 5-month mark, which we've been waiting for. Drum roll. Alright, so this is what my hair currently looks like. I have to tell you, I'm so happy. Now I can actually say that I have hair again. This is what the crown looks like. Yes, there is still a little bit of exposed scalp in the crown, but given my hair quality, I have very curly hair, it's covered so easily. And this is what the temples look like. And I actually wanted to say something which I thought of, that even though my hair is not perfect right now, there are ways in which you and I can manipulate the illusion of our hair to make it look like we have more, better, stronger, higher quality hair than what we actually have. And for me, just look at this. So this was me last week, and I cut my own hair, but look at how that looks. And then compare it to right now. It looks like I have so much more hair, even though it's just 1 week difference. And what I did now was I just shaved the sides really short, and suddenly my hair looks so much longer. But also in the back, what it does is I bring my hair up so it kind of covers my crown. I don't know if you can see that. And sure, maybe a little bit of crown is showing, but if I stand like this, you're not going to see it, which to me is super cool. So just by trying different haircuts, you can actually make your hair look better. And at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want to find something that looks good on us. We want to gain our confidence back, and we don't want to constantly think about how our hair looks. So for me, at this present moment, this haircut actually really suits my facial structure, and it really complements where I'm at in my hair loss journey. You can see as well, that's my temple right there. That's the other temple. For me, this haircut and hairstyle helps hide those spots where I'm self-conscious, which is perfect. So I would recommend to you, if you're further along into your hair loss journey, that you find a haircut that suits you and that can complement your current progression in this hair loss regimen. Which is also why I said shave it in the beginning, because then the shedding won't be as noticeable. So it's all about being strategic when you're dealing with hair loss. Also, I've been working on a surprise for you guys since the end of last year, and it's coming to its end, and I'm almost ready to release it to you guys, and I can't wait to do that. Please subscribe if you haven't, so you can stay up to date with the news I'm about to drop, because it's going to be super exciting. Another thing which a lot of you guys have asked me about is whether or not I'm still losing hairs in the sink. And personally, I am not. At least not that I've noticed. When I had longer hair, I remember I lost so many hairs every day. But I think you lose between 50 and 200 hairs every day anyways, even though you're not suffering from male pattern baldness. So losing hair strands is not necessarily a bad thing. And doesn't mean that you're losing your hair. It's just normal. I got in a few comments where people have said that I'm not balding. Although, thank you, first of all. I do want to say that I caught my hair loss quite early. I do have photos, reference photos with the dates of what my hair looked like before I started taking medication, so you can't take that away from me. However, I do want to say that I did catch my hair loss quite early, which means I was able to reverse a lot of the damage done by my hair loss. And I knew this was going to happen coming into this and making videos about losing my hair, because I know that just because I've lost my hair and been able to regrow it doesn't mean someone else can, because they've left it for too long. I was just fortunate enough that I was able to notice it early, because I do really care about how I look. And if someone has left it for years and years, their hair loss is gonna look a lot worse, and medication may not even be able to help save it, so they're gonna have to get a hair transplant if they're ever gonna wanna have their hair back. And just know, when people are dealing with hair loss, they're super vulnerable. Luckily for me, building this platform and the support system that I also have outside of YouTube, I'm very confident in myself, which is also why I've put myself out there, that it doesn't really get to me. But I do think, be careful when you say those things to other people when they say that they're dealing with hair loss, because for a lot of people it's very big to come out and talk about their hair loss. So rather than being like, oh, you're not losing your hair, listen to them, hear them out, and take them seriously, because it is a very big step to be able to talk about your hair loss. And I know from talking to a lot of you guys, I'm the first person you've talked to about your hair loss, which I know is super huge for you guys to be able to finally talk about it and deal with it. So yeah, be kind to each other, and I shouldn't have to get blamed for catching my hair loss early. I mean, if anything, that's just a good thing. But if you've been supporting me and you're supporting me and been watching my videos, I do thank you a lot, because it means the world that I'm able to share my story, my drawbacks and my hardships, and how I'm gonna overcome them with you guys. And hopefully you feel inspired as well to take action in your life and deal with your hair loss, because there are ways that we can fight back and regain our hair. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video, found it somewhat useful, and I shall see you in the next one.